All right, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started here with February Pendorama. So thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so as you joined in, you will have noticed that this is already being recorded, and we will share out the recording afterwards. So you could always listen back and hear anything that you may have missed. If you have to hop off early, that's okay. We'll send you the recording. So we do have this set up as a Zoom meeting versus a webinar. So we do want you to be able to feel free to ask any sort of questions that you may have. You can always come off mute. Also note that it did not automatically mute you when you joined the session. So just make sure that you are muted for any of those presenters as well. But we do want this to be interactive. So feel free to come off mute and ask any sort of questions. You utilize the chat. The presenters love to hear all of your questions. So we're excited to get started. All right, so we have an amazing lineup of speakers so far. And we have Jen and Marcus from Pendo who will be giving an update. Liz has a really great story from a hackathon that they utilize Pendo for. And then we're going to get a special highlight from Amber towards the end because we're launching a new user group and she's going to give a quick highlight on what to expect from that. So I'm going to actually go ahead and stop sharing my screen so that Jen can take over. So go ahead, Jen, it's all yours.
Nice, thanks, Erin. All right, let's get cracking here. All right, so yeah, like Erin said, I'm Jen Lucas. I'm one of our product managers here at Pendo, and I'm here to give a really exciting update on tagging, highlighting our product vision for the year. So really excited to share this with all of you guys today. But before we get into that, I just wanted to highlight a few of our recent releases that we have been posting in the customer forum and other places, just to make sure you guys are all up to date on the latest and greatest. Oh my. Okay. Hang on. Okay, there we go. I don't know what that was about. So first up is our feature rule builder. So for any of you guys that are using the tagging aid to create features in Pendo today, this one's for you guys. So what we've heard from all of you is that the tagging aid has provided a lot of value for you guys in being able to build the features that you need and give you the confidence to make sure that you're creating a good tag. And so what we've done is we've taken all of that value from the tagging aid and we've put it directly into Pendo. So we know that many of you guys were toggling between two screens in order to get this done. And with this release, that is all consolidated and you'll be able to do all of that in one place. And so what this looks like is, in addition to suggested match and custom CSS, you now have the custom rule builder option shown here on the right, where you can add and remove rules to create the perfect combination for feature tagging. And we have that confidence piece in there to show you the matches and highlight the elements on the page that the rule combination will target. And then lastly, it'll have the formatting in there for you automatically. So no more copy and paste. It's all there ready and waiting for you.
I was coming down to eat sometime. Wait.
Okay. And we're going to have more updates here coming soon. So for any of you using the tagging aid, we'd love to have you start using this. And we're going to be building upon this more in the future. So keep your eyes peeled for more coming here. Secondly, we recently released page rule exclusions. This was our #1 request from all of you guys. And so if you've requested this or you've wanted this, please take a look. Really what this does is it's just a more efficient way to create a grouping of pages for you, especially for guides. So something that we've heard a lot is people want to show an NPS guide or resource center guide across all of their pages, except for the login page or except for the settings. And so this is just a really quick, efficient way to get that rule set up for you. All right, so without further ado, we're going to launch into the 2023 product vision for tagging. Thematically, something Pendo is really focused on this year is helping you get started faster. So when it comes to time to value and decreasing that as much as possible, we want to get you to using analytics, in-app messaging, user feedback, getting that information as quickly as possible. What we know on the Pendo side is that tagging is required in a lot of these cases in order to get to that value, especially analytics. So in context of decreasing time to value, we're focused on decreasing the time to tag, which is really exciting. And we've also heard from a lot of you, our customers, on ways that we can improve tagging and make it easier for you. We've heard a few things here. Hopefully some of this resonates with you. First off, we've heard that there's a lack of validation during feature creation process. And so this results in people making incorrect tags and not feeling confident to create tags on their own and needing a lot of help doing this correctly. Secondly, the creation process doesn't always prevent creation of duplicates. And then the merging and resolving of that sometimes isn't intuitive and is difficult to do. Thirdly, we've heard that the team struggles to identify the right tags that they need. So despite naming conventions pulling a lot of weight, sometimes there's still confusion. And ultimately, this could result in more duplicates. And thirdly, for those who are responsible for tagging, they spend a lot of time maintaining the tag library itself. And in many cases, it can be hard to find the tags that might be incorrect. At the heart of this, what I've seen and what has resonated with me so much is data trust kind of being at the heart of this. Without good tags, with accurate data, I mean, this impacts all of your reports. And what we've seen this do in some cases is it's driven narrow tag ownership. So what we want to be a process that anyone can do, we're seeing that a lot of you guys have one or two people maybe doing all or the majority of tagging for your subscription. And that's not where we want to be. Okay, so getting down to it, here's our tagging vision, and here's where we want to take you guys. We want to put data trust at the heart of what we're doing too. So we want to drive data trust in Pendo by enabling all of you guys to accurately and scalably create, utilize, and manage tags, the whole 9. So how are we doing this? We're going to help you get started faster by having the ability to scalably create tags and validate that those rules are correct. We want to make sure this data is usable. So we want to help your team quickly find the right tags that they need and get to creating reports and get to creating guides, those pieces that they really, really care about. And then thirdly, we want to help you maintain that data trust. We want to keep that data trust in Pendo without having to restrict access to maybe only certain people can use Pendo or only certain people can create tags. Okay, this is the exciting part. So let's talk feature tagging. So last year we released suggested pages. If you haven't checked that out yet, I would strongly encourage that. But really what we've heard from all of you is that feature tagging is the most difficult and it requires a significant amount of time. Requiring all of you guys to have in-depth knowledge of CSS is not where we want you to spend your time. So this year we are going to enable all of you guys to continue to get out of doing tagging so you can focus on building your products and understanding the usage. Okay, so here we have the tag scanner, and what it's going to do is Pendo's going to scan a brand new page for you and point out all the actionable elements. So imagine yourself, you've just shipped a new page and it's got a ton of features for your users to use. Pendo's going to come in and it's going to scan the page for all of those new features that are actionable. Think buttons, links, input fields. And it's going to allow you to tag those items in bulk. So once it's identified all these elements, Pendo verification is going to help non-technical users know if the tag is good or not. So it's going to flag for things like, is there already a duplicate in place? Does this have clicks? Is this rule good? Okay, and finally, we're thinking a lot about integrated experiences and how to make tagging a part of your overall process, where you can just seamlessly move back into guide creation or analytics reporting. Okay, data attributes. I would like to see a show of emojis for anyone who's appending their features with data attributes today. This is one of our best practices. Okay, I can't see emojis right now, but for those of you who aren't familiar with this practice, this is really just a surefire way to make sure that you have a strong permanent selector for a feature. So even if your feature changes down the road, maybe you rename a button, this is going to ensure you have data consistency across the entire lifetime of the feature. And so what we're imagining is, since Pendo is collecting all this usage data, we can see and know when new attributes are entering Pendo. So just imagine a world where features are automatically created for you when we spot these new data attributes in the system. No logging into VDS required. Huge, very exciting. I'm really excited for this one personally. Okay, and last but not least, tag maintenance. So going back to the data trust theme, we know how important it is to make sure that your library of tags is accurate and up to date. Today, we know a lot of you guys are informally managing this by looking for features that have 0 clicks and then triaging why might they be broken. And we really want to formalize this process to help you do this in a more efficient way. Okay, introducing tag breakage alerts. So we want Pendo to flag these features that might have an issue where we're seeing data discrepancies in your environment. So we want to identify things like 0 clicks, duplicates. Maybe there's a spiked increase in data or a spiked decrease in data. We'll flag those features for you and give you space to correct those and triage those if necessary. And we would love to hear from all of you guys. Do you have feedback on tagging? You don't have to be technical, especially not technical, to give us feedback on this. We would love to have you be a part of our design process. This is my email. Please hit me up if you want to partner with us. We would love to have you. And thank you.
Thanks, Jen. That's awesome. I definitely feel like so if you're not technical, this would be really great to get feedback, because I feel like that's what this is being built for. There was a question from Mark asking, can we get alerts for non-mobile STA applications, like desktop apps?
Yes, this is all for non-mobile. This is all desktop.
Nice. Okay. Well, perfect. Well, there, you should definitely take a look at the chat, because everyone was very excited about these updates. So this was awesome. So thank you so much for giving the update on tagging. I know a lot of people are excited about this, and it helps save time. All right. So Marcus, you're up next if you want to start sharing your screen.
Awesome. Sounds good. And hello, everyone. If we haven't met, my name is Marcus Andrews. I am the Senior Director of Product Marketing over here at Pendo. And I work across a lot of products, but mostly Engage. And I've been spending a lot of time on analytics recently. So I want to give you guys an update on analytics, and then dive into this new project that I've been working on with analytics, which is a little bit of a pet project, but I'm excited to share it. And I hope you will be excited for it too. So I will jump in. So there's a little, like, just to tee this up a little bit, like, you know, it's a really good time to be in product right now. I imagine the majority of you are on product teams or product managers, and it's just, you know, it's never been better. It's never been a better time to be a PM. There are so many good things that are happening out there in the world that are really like making the role more important and more strategic and driving demand for it. but it's also like a very, very turbulent time to be a PM, to be on a product team. There's all sorts of stuff to deal with. There's like this tech correction and macroeconomics and artificial intelligence and still the product-led movement. And I think what's happening out there right now is that it's just creating a lot of pressure on product managers and on product teams. It's like, it's a good time, but also I know that your chief product officer and your CEO and your CFO, they're all coming at you with different requests and ideas. We have to fix onboarding. We got to make sure we retain every customer. We got to expand accounts. We got to, can you get by without that extra designer or engineer? And I think what's happening and what we're seeing is that, this environment is creating a new kind of PM. And PMs have always kind of had to do this, but I think it's just more and more important to be able to think bigger. And like, if you compare like PMs to, today's PM, which where I think we're like where the puck is heading with tomorrow's PM, you can't just have a focus on your product. You can't only be limited to customer interviews for insights. You have to think bigger. You have to be thinking about your company. You have to be having business impact. You have to be shipping outcomes, not just features. You cannot move slow, right? Like, it's hard being a PM. I know it's like we start to overthink things and we want to get all the right data because you're trying to make the right answers more often, which is really important. But the ability to move fast with confidence and make the right decision, prioritization decisions faster, more correctly is really, really important. And then also your ability to have an impact, right? Like I think like having a smaller impact, improving your own product is good and important. But if you can influence and inspire change beyond just your own product, that's, I think, where things are heading. This is hard. There are technical challenges. Like obviously Pendo wants to help with this. I think using data and using our analytics product can help a ton, but there are some technical challenges with Pendo that make this hard. There's still like a lot of manual work to do all of these things really well. And it all kind of takes too much time, like these PMs, people are trying to do this with Pendo now. I'm sure there's some feedback in here from Liz Feller in there somewhere. Liz, I know you're on the call, but like our customers have really pushed analytics to the limit, trying to get more out of the product, making sure that it delivers what they need. And this is driving a ton of how we're thinking about analytics, right? Like, and this is I hope you've seen this on the roadmap. I can go into some of the details on the products. I may not be the best person. If you went to customer forum, Todd went through all of this, and that's recorded and we can share it. And like he went into depth in a lot of these products. I'm happy to do my best too. But like the analytics roadmap is really built to help deliver on this. And it's all about these are the 3 themes for analytics. And some of these products are live now or in beta, and then some are coming. But if I were to summarize it, really focused on making analytics deeper. Like, as a PM, you're only as good as the questions that you can ask and then get answers to. And it can be hard to do that with Pendo sometimes. Data Explorer is really designed to like give you this question machine that you can use to slice and dice your data and figure out, ask complex questions and figure out the answers to them. But there's limitations, so event property filtering, global event properties, historical metadata, or that's in the next bucket, but like a lot of improvements to Data Explorer and metadata and like the flexibility around Data Explorer to give you the ability to like go deeper into your data, slice and dice more, ask more complex questions. Huge part of the roadmap and the focus with analytics. Very excited about all that. The second part is actionable reporting. Like reporting, and like I just, I know you can get a lot of value out of Pendo as a PM when you have Pendo to help answer questions, but I really get excited when people can take the data from Pendo and then use it to go change something inside of their business. And, that could just be, you've got an awesome dashboard that you share with your engineering team to help get buy-in that you need to build a new feature that you want to. But I've also seen companies like, using product engagement score in their board meetings, or like just really great reports and dashboards that PMs and product teams can go take to leadership and get more resources, or to go take to marketing and get buy-in on a campaign. And so there's a lot of work being done here too. Global dashboard filtering, an easy way to filter dashboards, just making dashboards better. Multi-dimensional group by is very cool. Data sync, which is the ability to get data out of Pendo into your data warehouse and into your BI tools. So a lot of work on more actionable reporting. And then there's the third bucket, sort of, and this one's the most far off, but there's work being done on it now. But this is journey insights. And this is basically just like a better enhanced paths and funnels report, but deeper insights into the specific journeys of paths and funnels. So the new funnel reporting, which we have gotten some demos of internally, and is cooking, is really, really cool. The ability to just get to see more specific insights into like the roles and users and how people are behaving in journeys in the products. So I will share all of this. Like I said, I have some slides on the roadmap, but what I really want to show you is this tool that I've made. So what this is, like, all that's well and good, the products are improving, they're going to get deeper, they're going to help people become better PMs. But I think at the same time, there is this challenge of just like not knowing what to do with Pendo data when you get your hands on it. And a lot of the time, I think we see people jump to creating dashboards and creating reporting and trying to use Pendo data for something specific, like influencing engineering, but they miss out on some critical steps that are like foundational to becoming a data-driven organization. So this is this blog post is live, and inside of it you'll find this little tool, and it basically gives you everything you need to kind of build this foundation to become a data-driven organization, a data-informed product team. Like, the number one reason when we ask our customers why people buy Pendo is because they want to become more data informed. And we should do more. It takes products to help do that, but it also takes like internal change. You have to make sure that you're structured the right way. You have to have a plan to know what to do with that data. You have to make sure that everybody's using it the same way and has a common language, and that people care about it. And that is really hard to do. So this tool is a hierarchy of needs, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? You got to start at the bottom and then work your way up. And I encourage you to read the blog post, check it out. But I'm going to run you through it really quickly. Okay. So the first step is that you've just got to collect all the data that you need, right? And like, this is relatively easy. Most of you already have Pendo, but Jen did an awesome update on tagging, right? And like, you can't, if you're not tagging, and if you're not getting the data that you need into Pendo to begin with, or collecting it somehow, then you don't have the raw ingredients to get started with data, right? So that's number one. And like with your product, it's accounts and visitors, it's people and behavior data. And once you have those two things, you can really you can figure out just about anything. Once you get this data, and I think this is the hardest step. I've talked to other people who disagree, but like, once you get this data, now we have to turn it into something. So you refine the data by defining metrics. And what a great metric should do is connect your business goals to what's happening in the product. So like if our business priority is retention, what metric are we going to track in product usage data that we know leads to retention? There may be a few metrics, but having like a North Star metric or a single metric for your product that is agreed upon by, whoever is important to agree upon it, and you've got this one standard metric or custom metric that you're tracking in Pendo, is really important, because you can't just look at all the metrics and say they're all the same. You've got to make some decisions, and you have to understand, like with our Data Explorer, we know that Data Explorer usage leads to retention. And the number one metric that we track for Data Explorer usage is reports run. So the product, we sat in a room and we agreed that reports run is the metric that we're going to track for Data Explorer success. And now that's the product team's metric, but also product marketing and success, and all these different teams care about it. And it's like our common language now. So once you define your metrics, turning them into reports, establishing tables and graphs that can track this usage over time, track your, your metric or metrics over time, really important, because then you start to be able to like see trends and get insights, and like it really starts to become actionable when you learn about it. And then the fourth is that you're doing something with the data. There's a lot of product teams who have all this data and it like lives in a dashboard, and maybe the single product team looks at it, but they're like, they haven't like it's the wrong word, but like weaponized this data, like how do you take it out and do something with it? Like, and maybe most likely that's a dashboard. Like you could spend a lot of time turning it into a pitch deck or a memo, both of which are good, but dashboards are helpful because they will stay up to date. And you can put a lot in our dashboards now, but dashboards can be a really powerful tool to inspire change, get the resources you need, win arguments. But basically this data is like turning into action inside your organization. And that's sort of when you can do all of these things, and when you can do them on a single product level, but also like on a entire product org CPO level, you reach this like data actualization phase, which I just made up. But it's like, the top of the pyramid where you've truly got data like flowing through your organization in a way that works. And like, you're always sort of going to be working on these things. But I think what's helpful about it is that you got to start at the bottom and sort of work your way up. Because if you start building dashboards and you don't have buy-in on those metrics, or if you're not getting all the data that you need, you can be really, really challenged. So that is it. That I can put this blog post in the chat so you have it. I encourage you to read the blog post. It's got a lot more information, and we've got a analytics certification coming out too, where I do a chapter on this. But yeah, I don't know if I'm over or under time, or if there's time for any questions, but excited to share this with you all.
Yes, thanks, Marcus, and thanks for sharing that blog post as well. And a nice little plug about the upcoming. Sorry, I don't know if you hear it. It's just on my end. But there was a question. Is Pendo planning to go beyond click events to other events that may be useful? On change drop-down selections, this would be great since now we have to use track events instead.
Yeah, I don't know if Jen, if you know the answer to that, but
Okay.
I don't, that's not something that like I've seen specifically called out in the roadmap. Track events is probably still the best solution, but I don't know for sure.
Perfect. All right. And then someone did put a little smiley face to this, but Pendo to Airtable would be a great integration together. So something that we can always add to the list as well. Awesome. Well, thanks, Marcus. I appreciate your time on this. And up next, we have Liz Feller. So you can start sharing your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, everybody. My name is Liz Feller, and I am with Nelnet Business Services. We just recently went through a really cool experience with Pendo, so we were going to show it today. And because yesterday was Valentine's Day, it is a love story. It had some rocky points, but it ended up, we think we have a happy ending to it. So we're excited to share it with you. So one really neat thing that I love about Nelnet, there are a lot of things, but recently we had an innovation week for the whole company. As many people as could be involved were involved from all different departments. And we had some fireside chats, we had roundtables with executives talking about innovation, and we also had a specific part of it called Build It or Build IT. I still don't know which one it is, but that's okay. It was a chance to get some kind of big dreams out into a public space within Nelnet, and different individuals would sign up to be part of teams and kind of, we had a group together that we had this crazy dream, which we'll go to in a minute, but we then culminated the week with every group being able to do a presentation about how did it go when they're trying to build something from nothing, right? Or do research and what is next for your idea. This is not the first one that they have done, but it was the first one that was kind of incorporated into an actual innovation week. And so our company, if you're not familiar with Nelnet or Nelnet Business Services, we are kind of in that ed tech space a little bit, but we do a lot of financial management for institutions. We do school and student information management. We also provide similar services for churches and nonprofits and even government entities, both within the United States a lot, but also internationally. So we have like this large mix of users and even objectives that our users might have. And so the team that I was a part of, it was just across Nelnet. There were 4 of us, but we were first thinking about the whole concept of a jitterbug phone. And I hope I'm not dating myself when I distinctly remember all of the commercials about these and the little jingle. But really, our idea started of, can we make a simplified version of the screens that our consumers use so that they don't have to call as much and they feel more satisfied when they're using our products? And that kind of turned into, well, what if we use AI? Like, that's really cool and it's hip and new and it's everywhere now. Could we help people by them being able to like kind of voice or speak to the product and it understands what they want and either does something or gives them information? And that even evolved further into, can we make our product somehow more accessible by connecting things that we already have and our knowledge base and all of the plethora of information that we have there as well. So it started with Jitterbug, and I'm sorry if the song is in your head from Wham, but here we go. So we thought this was really important because sometimes the screens or features within our products, and I'm sure y'all face this as well, use language that's not always intuitive to our users, whether they're first time or they're in a new role and using our products, maybe they're not as technology proficient, or increasingly more common, English might be their second or third or fourth language. In addition to that, our call centers for our company are not staffed 24/7. So we frequently kind of even just exclude people from getting help just because of the time of day. The business requirements that we had for this is that we wanted to make sure we used accurate and accessible resources that would be able to understand natural language, not kind of the product language. They should be audience specific. It should be easy to maintain, available across lots of different products. And we should be able to get analytics on how things are done and what questions are asked, and it should be secure. And so a lot of these is where Pendo came in for us, which was really exciting. We used Microsoft Azure and their cognitive services to build the thing in, I think, a day. And it was a lot of guessing, but luckily we guessed correctly. And so this is just kind of a little mock-up showing what it is, but now I'm excited that I get to share my screen in a different way and show you kind of what we did and how we were using Pendo specifically. There it is. Okay, so this is kind of inside the cognitive services. We really liked that we could use URLs as our resource, but we also had to use some files, it turns out, as well, because for whatever reason, we couldn't get the URLs to do it seamlessly. But we ended up the kind of bot thing that it makes, it just gives you an embed code. So we said, oh my goodness, let's use Pendo for everything and get it to be audience specific. And it's in the resource center because we already use that across all of our products. And let's just try it out. And so we put it in a bunch of different staging environments. This is an example of one. This is one of our products that has had the resource center the longest. But if we come in here, we have this little basket at the bottom, and we get to just start asking questions. Now, this is totally a demo, like it's not very pretty, but maybe this person had a question about a part of the product that they hadn't used before, or they were a new user. So I could type, what's an enrollment event? I don't know. This is about applications. And so it just gives you information from our own resources that we kind of control and gatekeep. But it tells me a little bit, but it's not exactly, you know, maybe I need to phrase it a little bit differently. And if it can't figure it out, we were able to customize, you know, what will it say? And it was really nice that because it's an iframe, we had full control over almost all the styling as well. But we already do keep it consistent across our products because that's how we have been doing our resource centers. So if I'm in a different product and I'm a different type of user and I come in here, this is the only thing that this person has available. So they won't see any other resources that might be available to internal users or other audiences. But maybe I need to ask, you know, can I change my payment date? That's a very common question that people have. I would have them as well. And it comes out with just exactly what somebody might need. Ooh, as I remove my highlighting. And it is all brand specific. And so that is even more, you know, power to how we can fulfill those business requirements and keep everything consistent for the user and low maintenance, because it's all pulling from our knowledge base resources. And then our last example we had for internal only, we can do that as well. It just kind of depends on those sources that we put into the cognitive services. But maybe somebody is working on setting up a new account and they had a question because something got done incorrectly. So maybe they need to change something and they didn't know, maybe they're new at this and it has all of this extra information because it is something for internal only. So it was really fun to build and kind of get going and share internally. So we liked it so much, we wanted to share it with you too. So going forward, there are already plans to actually deploy this and get it up and going in at least one of our products. And that way they can establish a beta group and kind of refine those resources and do a lot of testing. But it's just really exciting that, you know, you can try things with Pendo because it is so easy and it doesn't require hard coding. We'd love to have like full consumer facing service using Pendo 24/7 and even kind of that audience specific options through Pendo as well. And we're also exploring maybe that would be an interesting marketing tool if we're trying to let people ask questions if they're considering adding on to a product or, you know, adding additional products to what they already purchased through Nelnet Business Services. What we use, definitely, we had a lot of the Pendo resources like the Pendo Academy and the knowledge base to learn, and we use the Pendo GitHub repository and the code resources in there as well. We tried the simplest things first. And then I definitely encourage anyone using Pendo to just dream crazy big. Like you can use Pendo for just about anything. And I was really excited that we got to incorporate it into this innovation project for our company because not a lot of people knew that Pendo could provide a bot experience without actually having to do any like super heavy lifting. So I went through that quickly because I was really excited, but I am also now available for questions.
Nice. Thanks, Liz. I don't know if you're seeing this, but all of the Pendo people are very impressed that are on this call of what you just did. So that's really awesome. Yeah, so I just feel like there's so many learnings. How long has this been kind of live on your end?
Well, so it's still in our staging environments. We're coming up on 3 weeks now.
Okay.
All of it with a like 30-day trial of all the services because it does cost money. But the billing through Microsoft was based on volume of use. And so that's where we're getting kind of Nelnet involved for making sure that we do all the billing correctly to the correct cost centers and that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've got some folks really excited to try it out and see where we can go with it.
Amazing. Yeah, I just feel like even just like the results of even, you know, support ticket reduction or just like internal people coming to you for things will definitely save time. Someone did just ask, is there a blog post on how they could do this? And we will contact Liz at some point to get this up into a blog post. So kind of stay tuned for that. So very cool. I love the innovation of all of that. Awesome. Well, Liz will be around here for a few more minutes while we wrap things up. So if you do have any questions for her, let us know. I feel like a lot of people are now have their wheels turning of all the things that they could potentially do. So thank you so much for sharing that. Great. So I have a few other things that I just wanted to share, just kind of closing out here. So I'm super excited because today is the day that we launched Pendemonium registration. So if you want to learn all things Pendo, want to hear from all of our customers who are doing wild and crazy things like Liz, Pendemonium is the place to be. We have a ton of breakout sessions. Our product management team is there. Our technical success team is there to help answer any questions that you have. We really it's in Raleigh, North Carolina on October 17th through 19th. It's not just a big party. There's a lot of really great content, and we always hear from customers who attend the event that they're walking away with loads and loads of notes, of things they can take back and apply with their team. You can always bring your team together for this event. We do know a lot of people kind of come as a group for this event as well. So just know registration is now officially live. You can go to pendo.io/pendemonium. Details will be in the follow-up email with recordings. I'm also excited to announce that our call for speakers is now open as well. So we're launching this a lot earlier than we have in the past. So if you have any sort of ideas or things that you could share, we want to hear from you. Don't think that any of your ideas are too small to submit to speak. We always want to hear from you. And I know that we have a lot of seasoned people on this call who have a lot of things to share. So please submit your session. The submission form is only available or open, excuse me, for 5 weeks. And that 5 weeks will go a lot faster than you think. So don't just sit on it. We want to make sure that you are submitting your sessions. So we're excited, and I'll share that link in the email as well. All right. So as always, we want to make sure that you're getting the most out of Pendo. Like Liz shared, there's very unique ways, but there's also some integrations. We have a great professional services team. We have a few CSMs on the call as well. So we just really want to make sure that you're utilizing our team as best as possible. We have a really great team here that want to support you. So if there are things, I know there were a lot of questions in the chat about certain things that weren't necessarily about the presentation, but please utilize your CSM to help educate you on those types of questions to make sure that you are getting the most out of Pendo. All right, so user groups. So we have been rocking and rolling with our user groups across the US. We've hosted this year so far in Austin and Dallas, and we have Atlanta coming up next week. So if you're located in Atlanta or Minneapolis, we will be in your city. This is a really great way to just connect with other Pendo users, understand and share ideas of how you're using Pendo. We've been getting a really great turnout, so we are happy to have you. But we have Amber on the call. Amber, I don't know if you're still here.
I'm here. Hi.
Great.
I'm still working. I've been restarting my computer. I feel like today is software update.
Yep, I've gotten that update message as well.
It's that day. It's that
Yep.
time of the week.
Exactly. So we are launching a vertical kind of like specific user group for if you are part of an ed tech company, and this will be held virtually since obviously everyone is kind of wide and dispersed for this. So Amber, I don't know if you want to just give it a kind of an update on what we have planned.
Well, I think we are going to start by surveying folks and, hopefully figuring out where people are in their journeys. And doing some recruiting. So I see Eric Miller, my friend on the call and former colleague. I think in education in particular, I think every industry has a certain amount of subject matter expertise. I think in education, we tend to skew really heavily towards subject matter expertise and learning expertise. And as a result, being product led, using data, doesn't always come naturally or can be tough to evangelize within an organization, depending on the history, culture, and mission. And so I believe a rising tide lifts all ships. And so kind of living at the intersection of what's great for learners and what helps us with, we have unique compliance needs, and really just bringing us together as a group of likely many former educators and many folks who build educational apps to really think together about how we can move away from subject matter expertise and really bring so many best practices about how to listen to our users and reflect back the data that we see into our work. So just really excited to get folks together and to geek out, since a lot of us as former teachers know it can be a very isolating space, and we're just excited to bring best practices to everyone.
Amazing. Yeah, no, so we're really excited to start with EdTech specifically for a user group virtually. We will be having like breakout sessions, just depending on the size of the group that ends up showing up, so that you do have that one-on-one time to network and kind of share those ideas. But we're very excited to have Amber partner with us for this user group. And if you are local to any of these other cities, just be sure to join us when we are hosted in your area. And then, as always, we love to hear your referrals, and you can earn up to $550 for referring us to a friend. So just know that is available. And then Mind the Product, as always, we've actually, I think we celebrated our 1-year anniversary of partnering with Mind the Product. So we still have a discount code for 50% off for being a Mind the Product membership. So be sure to join us in that group as well. So great. So thank you so much. This was a great Pendorama, and we will see you back next in March, a month from now. So we thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. And thank you to all the speakers. Thanks, Liz, Marcus, and Jen.